All right, guys, this is course number 5.
Course number 6.
Course number 6.
Starting with Pisces and going into the moon sign for each sign.
That's correct. But before I do that, I need to kind of prompt a few people here to see about where you are at as far as the reflex is concerned. So, Catherine, we're going to start with you. What sign controls Taurus? I mean, what planet controls the sign of Taurus?
Venus.
Okay, and then is it a mutable? Is it a cardinal? What is it?
It's a fixed sign.
That's correct. No, that's pretty good. You see, she's really doing it. Okay, we're going to go to the other Catherine now. Okay, Mrs. Plain. Okay, you tell me what is the planet that controls Capricorn?
One that controls Capricorn is Saturn.
Okay, what is the opposite of Capricorn, honey?
Cancer.
Perfect. Now, is Cancer a mutable, a fix? What is it?
It's mutable?
Nope.
No. It's water.
Well,
cardinal.
you only have there you go. So
yeah, cardinal.
That's you're still good. You're still there. Okay, you're a little bit behind, but nothing dramatic. Okay, Collie, you ready? Collie, do you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. So you tell me now. What is the opposite of the sign of Sagittarius?
What is the what?
The opposite of the sign of Sagittarius.
Gemini.
Perfect. What is the planet that controls Gemini?
Ooh.
Yeah, that should be bang. So you're missing, right?
That one.
It's Mercury.
Mercury. Okay.
All right. Is it a water sign or a fire sign? What is it?
No. Earth sign.
No, it's not an earth sign. It's an air sign.
Air.
Okay. So it looks like if you run a little bit behind, but it's understandable because you got some problems to deal with. I understand it's very hard to commit 100% when you have problems. Everybody's going through those problems. Let's try Doug. Doug, you ready? Okay. If I say Mars, what would you say?
Oh, you asked me this last time. So I would say red, Germany, fire, war, blood.
Okay, that's perfect. What does the house that is controlling the sign of Cancer?
Cancer is the crab. It's July. It's the moon. It's
What house is it?
It is the 4th house. It is home and family.
Perfect. I mean, Doug, you're definitely there too. Okay, don't worry about you. Larry, can you hear me? No, Larry is not here. Okay. Margarita?
Larry, Larry?
Yes, he is.
There he is.
Oh, Larry. Okay, can you were mute or something? Okay, Larry. Just tell me. Could you tell me something about Pisces that is good?
Ooh, something that is good. I was going to say.
But if you don't know, yeah, there you go. Now, what is the planet that controls Pisces?
Uranus.
Nope.
No.
Nope. Uranus.
Neptune.
Neptune.
Okay.
All right. And is it a fire sign or is it an air sign?
Wait a minute. Which one are we talking about again?
Pisces.
Oh, Pisces. Okay.
Is it a fire sign or an air sign?
It's a water sign.
You got it. Okay. Now, is it fixed? Is it fixed? Is it mutual or is it cardinal?
It's mute.
Good. Mutable, adaptable. Yeah. Like, this is good. This is good. Margarita, you next. What does the house that is controlled by Leo, starting with Aries? But Margarita, you here?
No. She's the one who's having audio settings and can't speak.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, she's doing the listening, which is always good. Okay. Well, Gina, I'm sure you can answer that. Yes. She's mute.
Would you please repeat the question?
What is the house that is controlling Leo? The 5th house is what sign that is in the 5th house from Leo?
It controls love and light, the stage.
Okay. But what is the 5th house for Leo? What sign rules the 5th house for Leo?
What sign rules it? What sign?
Yes.
I was going to say Leo. It's a lion.
No. That's the 1st house. I want to know the sign that is in the 5th house for Leo.
Are you talking about the planet?
No, I'm talking about the sign.
A sign.
Yeah, the sign in the fifth house for a Leo. All you have to do is to count 5 from August.
Oh, you're saying what is the sign 5 houses from, Leo?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's not what I got from that question at all. Okay, hold on now. I'm spinning the wheel.
Not cheating, Gina, not cheating.
No, I'm spinning it in my head. Let's see, there's Leo.
All right.
Wheel
Okay,
of
so it's
fortune.
Sagittarius. No, it's Sagittarius. Okay, now
That's what I was gonna say.
that's good. That's good. Now you tell me what sign rules the 8th house traditionally.
Oh, well, what sign? That's my mom, Scorpio, deadly.
Hey, so you
the
got that
dark,
one
the
dead
deep
on.
water.
Okay.
Don't
all right.
piss them off, all
What
that
it-
stuff. But me personally, as a Cancer, I'll just clip their stinger and we're done with it.
There you go. What about the tell me the opposite sign of the sign of Aquarius?
Opposite side of Aquarius, my brother, I should know this one. Hold on now. Aquarius, I'm flipping the script here. Let's see. Is that Virgo?
Nope.
Leo.
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 That's what I'm saying. When you need to have to reflect, you need to look at that wheel, because I'm going to ask you what's the opposite of this. What does this house mean from this house? But it's normal, very normal after 6. I mean, 12 hours to be where you're at. You still are able to understand what I'm looking at. Okay.
And I'm still good looking, so I got that going for me.
All right. What is the sign of communication traditionally in astrology, Gina? Tell me.
Gemini,
You got it.
communicator, Mercury.
What is the opposite of Gemini?
Oh, Jesus. Sagittarius,
Okay. And then is that a mutable? Is it a fixed, or is it a cardinal sign?
those are mutable.
Good. Perfect. All right. And the planet that rules Sagittarius is what?
Oh, wait, hold on. Big and bold. Pluto?
Nope.
Nope.
The Scorpion.
Saturn? Hold on.
No,
now.
it's Capricorn.
It's big and
Jupiter.
bold. Jupiter.
Jupiter.
Switzerland. Put a sock in it over there. I'm thinking.
All right. Now you can see the head of Aries, how competitive and fast she is. All right. Let's go to William. William, can you hear me?
Yes. I can hear
Okay.
you.
Tell me, Cancer is ruled by what planet or luminary?
The moon.
Perfect. And what does Cancer rules as far as the house is concerned? Which house?
It rules the 4th house.
Okay. What is the opposite of the 4th house?
Capricorn.
Okay. And what is the planet that rules the Capricorn?
Saturn.
Is
Saturn.
that a water sign, an air sign? What is it?
That's a fixed sign.
No.
Sorry, earth sign. Earth
Okay.
sign.
Oh, yeah, it's
Yeah.
an earth sign, but what is it? Is it a mutable? Is it fixed? Is it what?
It's a fixed sign.
No, it's not.
It's a earth. Oh my goodness.
Cardinal.
Cardinal.
Cardinal. That's what I was looking for.
All right. Okay, that's okay. So, I cannot ask too much, but I know that you're doing just fine. Caroline, are you here?
No, she's not here yet.
Okay, she's not here. Who else do I meet?
Oh, no, I am here.
Oh, there. Oh,
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Caroline, tell me, what is the planet that rules the sign of Virgo?
Mercury.
Perfect. What is the opposite of the sign of Virgo?
Pisces.
Is it a mutable sign, or is it a cardinal sign?
Virgo.
Pisces. And Virgo.
It's a mutable sign.
Yes, that's perfect. You see, she's getting it. You can see that there is a lot of good thing here. So Tom is on the iPhone, yes?
No, I'm on my own.
Oh,
I think with someone else.
okay. So who is on the iPhone?
Naomi is.
Naomi.
Oh, Naomi. Okay. Okay, Naomi, tell me something good about the sign of Aquarius.
It's new age, futuristic technology.
Absolutely perfect. When what planet rules that sign?
Uranus.
Okay, and is it a mutable, a cardinal, a fixed? What is it?
Fixed.
It's fixed. Oh, yes, good. Oh, now tell me something really good about the sign of Cancer.
Motherly, nurturing,
Oh
protect.
my gosh, she's good. Okay, she's definitely there. I love it. When you get that type of answer on the speed like this, dead on, without any mistake, you can say, now I have the reflex, okay? All right, so let's get going, guys. I am going to...
You didn't ask Tom or Catherine Flynn anything.
Well, Catherine, okay, Catherine, let's take care of you, Catherine.
Which one? There's two.
Well, no, I took care of them, didn't I?
Catherine Flynn?
Yeah.
She did, you did
Yeah.
Catherine Flynn. What about Bruckman? Did you do her?
Yeah.
Okay,
did
what
both of
about
them.
Aha.
Oh, okay. And you did Coley or Tom?
Okay, well, I tell you what, Tirania, ask someone a question about astrology, okay? Go ahead.
Who's
I don't-
left that didn't, or could it be anyone?
Anybody, you just throw your question out there, okay? Go ahead.
Oh wow, I wasn't expecting that.
Now you do.
Oh no.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so
Always comes much responsibility.
Come on, Taranya, pick a question and
so
ask a
does
question.
anybody know what sign the moon is in tonight?
Oh, fantastic question.
And what phase of moon we're in?
Oh, I like that.
waxing
Oh my
and
gosh, she even cornered me. Oh my God.
Are you cheating, Louis?
I hate you.
I made the teacher cheat.
Yeah, the moon is in Cancer, like means the beginning or the end of important phases of life. Okay, so I don't want anybody to drop when the moon is in the sign of Cancer, but be ready. You're gonna hear about people moving, changing job. You're gonna listen to your friends, listen to your family member, and be prepared. Something important has to start and finish. And in fact, tomorrow or after tomorrow, since the moon will be in Cancer for the next couple of days, you guys are gonna come up. Oh, something like this happened to me. Oh, me. I'm coming there tomorrow to tell you, okay, this happened, which is very important. At that point, I don't know, but pay attention because the moon in Cancer is significant in terms of beginning or ending of phases of life. Okay, that is for the next session with Cancer. What is it, Doug? Go ahead.
Well, you told us we should maybe get one of these.
Oh, the almanac, yes?
Yeah, and it's saying it's in Gemini, so I was wondering.
You know,
if you guys are you looking at different chart?
Anything that makes sense to you, you go and do it, okay?
He's probably talking about the void of course, which takes place every 2 to 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, but we're not on the moon situation now.
Right.
We're going to go and talk about the last sign of the zodiac. We're going to talk about Pisces. I gather everybody is looking at the chart, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, everybody sees it. Okay. Now, you're talking about the last sign of the zodiac, a kind of a close the wheel, so to speak, okay? And you're talking about the most difficult lesson a soul can choose to do. So wherever you have Pisces in your chart, remember, that's where you are going to be at your best and at your weakest. Why? Because Pisces in his own self incorporates all the strengths and all the weaknesses of all the sign. The reason why it is a very difficult sign is because you are in a current, you're in a river, or you're a fish, you're in a river, and the current's going only one way, one direction, okay? And you're trying, like a salmon, to swim back to your birthplace, okay? And the birthplace, of course, as a child of the universe, is the stars where you came from, okay? Now, there is, like every single sign of the zodiac, there is good and there is bad in both the Pisces, okay? The good one swims upstream, is spiritual, is artistic, is loving, is giving, is very, very intuitive, is productive, while the other fish is completely the opposite and follows the current of deception, illusion, drugs, alcohol, anything that means confinement, including religions. And we know the story about Pisces, the good and the bad side of Pisces. Now, in many ways, this sign it's a karmic sign. That's why it's difficult. So if you are a Pisces, you are a terminal. I'm not saying you're a Cancer terminal. I said you're a terminal because you are an opportunity to shut down the reincarnation principle during the course of this lifetime. Okay, it's like a test. It's a test where you're going to be challenged to the extreme. In fact, one of my best friends just called me tonight, and he's a Pisces. And the first thing he did was to go down here, how bad the gas is, how bad the food is. Then I had to constantly bring him up. Say, you know what, make sure to swim upstream. Don't, he knows my work. I took care of his daughter, which is autistic. So in many ways, it's understandable, because he says, the only thing I do is work, work, work. I said, but that's what it is. I said, I'm a Pisces like you, and we both are karmic. We have to work, and it's difficult. So when you're a Pisces, or if you know somebody who has a strong Pisces or who is a Pisces, you will see that person by naturally go swimming downstream, being negative. So it's very important to teach them to be very cautious of every single words that come out of their mouth, because that word or those words have been already processed through the superconscious. And the superconscious can easily make things happen, alter the atomic structure of the body, in other words, making you sick, or affect your attitude in so many ways. So being a Pisces is very, very complicated, because there is no grounding in the world of Pisces. And then there is the rest of the stars that can bring more grounding, okay? But as a rule, this is a karmic sign. It is his last life. And he can only have a fantastic life of success and appreciation, accomplishment, love, happiness, or he can be just homeless and drugs, or in jail, or going crazy. That's simple, okay? So that's why there is two fishes. And the one that has all this artwork is, we could see that's the church, the windows of a church. So that's why it's represented this way. I asked the artist to design it this way for me. Okay, so why is it the most difficult sign again? Because it regulates anything to do with the intangible, dreams, subconscious, anything to do with the inner life of a person. It regulates also the undoing side of a person. And the negative fish has a tendency to live in the past and be extraordinarily guilty. So again, you have the good and the bad fish. Okay, and again, this sign, since it is a water sign, is completely and entirely affected by the moon fluctuations, or again, our subconscious response to our closer satellite when you call somebody a lunatic, or being moody or crabby, especially during the time of a full moon. That's the world of Pisces. All right, a lot of famous people that are into music, acting, dancing, God knows what, were born into the constellation of Pisces. All right, in the second house, Pisces become a very competitive Aries. Okay, what does it mean? It means sometimes Pisces can go and spend a hell of a lot of money because he wants a car, he wants the bike. Okay, remember, the emotion is what runs Pisces. The critical thinking, depending on the location of Mercury, may be missing. And in terms of Terania, she has a Mercury in Pisces, so she's very, very intuitive, but she's also on her own world. Okay, sometimes I can catch her, she's gone out there, and then she can go dream and go back to her dream and fall asleep in 2 seconds. I mean, you're talking about a gift of being able to dream. Me, I need something else to pass out. I need to be really, really tired. Okay, so in the second house, sometimes I find myself, and I'm going to take myself again as an example, buying a Mercedes, buying things a little bit too fast that cost a lot of money, and then I say, oh my gosh, what have I done? Now I have to pay it. Okay, so remember, Aries is the baby of the zodiac. He learns by mistakes. And he tends to spend money a little bit too fast as far as Pisces is concerned. On the positive side, remember, Aries rules the head. So when I was young, I was making money using the Martian energy, fire. I'm a welder. I was a heavy equipment operator. I was operating crane. I was working on the base of Pearl Harbor and in San Diego, US base. I worked in Germany, doing all sorts of engineering work. where I used tools, machinery, there was dirt, there was oil, there was fire. I used to burn myself, cut myself. And of course, the result of me working for so many years in, making highway in the US and anywhere in France, I busted my back. Okay, so that's why I need a surgery on my back. Hopefully within the next months, this will be done. So on the negative side, that's me being very competitive. Okay, and being led by God to make money in a very dangerous, smoky, dirty, noisy, dangerous environment. That's why sometimes Pisces join the army or the navy. Okay, all right. Now, since Aries was the head, I educated myself. Okay, so the advanced Aries is an optician, he's a dentist, again, he's a psychologist, an astro-psychologist, a brain surgeon. He's using the brain because Aries was the head. Okay, so you can see the progress from the Martian energy, and then through education, now I am using the brain and I am a leader of the mind. In other words, wherever you have Aries, you're going to learn by mistake. Okay, you're going to learn the hard way, and you're very, very competitive. And you have to remember Aries is a pioneer on his own right. Okay, all right, let's go into, it's ruled by Mars, and you can see the symbol here. In the third house, 1, 2, 3, the soft, ungrounded, imaginary, dreamy Pisces become a very solid, stubborn, down-to-earth Taurus. If Pisces didn't have this earthy, grounding, fixed Taurus, Pisces would not be able to operate on this earthy, dense physical world. So God is making Pisces a bull in the mental process. So the mind is concerned with what? Beauty, the art, money, solidity, security. Okay, so again, with education, okay, the artistical Pisces now is making money through the third house. Okay, so what is the third house? Okay, 1, 2, 3, communication, singing. Okay, because the art, a lot of Pisces, again, Barbara Streisand, Lady Gaga, all those beautiful artists were born in March, and Taurus was the third. So they make money with the third house of communication. Okay, so the downfall is, again, Pisces can be very stubborn and getting stuck in the past. Okay, they got a problem to let go of the past. It took me a long time to let go of the drama that I went through with my first wife when she dropped me after a year of marriage. Okay, so my mental process was shattered, literally, and I had to work really hard not to sting myself. Remember, where you got also another sign that is working here by mutual reception. Okay, so the mental process of a Pisces is not just the art and being stubborn, is also plutonic, scorpionic. It's like in the second house. You can see I was in construction. I educated myself, and I'm teaching Astro-Psychology. I'm teaching the laws. You understand? Okay. All right. So when it comes to the mental process of a Pisces, you're dealing with an artist, but you have to remember also there is also a stinger. Okay. And then that Pisces can become very destructive with his words, like the opposite of Pisces is Virgo. 1, 2, 3. Virgo can be sarcastic. Okay, and so is Pisces when you get pissed off. Okay, so understand how the third house is working. Let's go into the home area. This is my house right here, right now. And this is where I become a Gemini. This is where I wrote my books. This is where I do a hell of a lot of radio show. This is where I am talking, because traditionally 1, 2, 3, Gemini rules my home. Okay. And then it means also having a house here and having a house somewhere else, in France, for example, or in Florida, or the duality involving the base of operation. Since the fish is in constant motion in the ocean or in the river, it happens to move a lot. Okay, I did move a lot, and I had people living with me. Okay, sometimes Pisces end up with his brother or his sister. You see that? That's Gemini, the brother and the sister at home when he gets old. Okay, so it is through the base of operation that Pisces do his reading, his communication. He likes to communicate with his family, brothers and sisters. We do that all the time, especially with the technology nowadays. And I communicate with my family, which is on foreign ground. Okay, you see that? Sagittarius. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the area of love and romance for a Pisces. Okay, since Pisces is a water sign, you see the grand trine, a water sign. Okay, he attracts water sign. I did have relationship with Scorpio. My God, be careful. I was in Switzerland with that girl. One day she bought me a piano, and I spent my time driving a boat on the lake. What's the lake? I can't remember the name of the lake. In Switzerland. Okay, so
Lac Léman.
Lac Léman, yes, I was on top of a mountain in $1 million house with her. Her father was extraordinarily wealthy. And then after a few days, I was driving a Porsche. I was just having a good time. I looked through the window and I thought, my gosh, got to be a little bit more than this beautiful green mountain. And especially if it comes the winter, it's going to be snowy. I don't like it. So I told her, okay, I'm sorry, but I cannot be with you. Then she went after me with a pan. And then I left so fast. You don't mess around with Scorpios, believe me. So just to give you an idea, if you delegate with a Scorpio, you're dealing with a Taurus. She didn't want to let me go. But I also had relationship with Cancer, okay, much easier relationship. So in the affairs of love and romance and speculation, Pisces wants to feed and protect, okay? Again, Pisces feed with the art, with spirit, or working as a chef or the real estate. You got to use that, okay? As a rule, and the 5th house, Pisces can attract a much younger or much older partner because the opposite side of Capricorn is also working, is on our way here. The 5th house is the house of speculation, love, and romance, where I create business as a guy, where a female create a child. This house is under the jurisdiction of the moon. So it's important in anything that any water sign do, or if you have a moon, Pisces, Scorpio, whatever in your chart, and everybody has it, you got to watch the moon. Make it a rule to always use the moon fluctuation. We'll discuss more when we get into the moon later. All right. So and that's why I was a general manager of the French Gourmet for many years in La Jolla. When I arrived in this country, I met this guy in London, and I asked him if he had $1. I wanted to see $1. He said, I don't have $1, but I have a quarter. And he gave me 2 quarters, which I put on a cross. I still have it. And he gave me his card, and he said, you know what? You'll come and visit me in San Diego. So many, many months later, I was able to pay for my plane, one-way ticket, 2-way ticket, but I didn't plan to come back. And I arrived at a place. And then there were 2 old guys there, and they said, can I speak to John? And John, who? I said, I don't know. And he said, is that the card? Is that your address? I said, yeah, that's the address. And they said, there is a phone. We didn't have cell phone in 1984 when I arrived. And he says, can you call? They called, and the phone went nowhere. The number didn't exist. So I'm still looking for John. And what I'm trying to say is I was led into this country with some very weird circumstances, put it this way. But I arrived in a good mood. And then the next day that I arrived, I met this Pisces lady who screwed me over. After 2 years, she didn't want to give me my green card. I told you the story, okay? So I had to go back home. But before that, I was working for years as a general manager at the French Gourmet, okay? I started cleaning the floor and then end up as his general manager, making like $2 million a year for the company. So basically, that is my speculation: love, romance, and creativity for a Pisces.
And
Cancer.
you can read more about his experiences in the book that I sent you guys in the initial attachments, Beyond the Secret.
Oh yeah, well, it's all in there. Yeah,
Those can help you to tap on your creative subconscious forces.
You got it. Let's go into the 6th house. This is how Pisces serves the world. And again, as you know, and I repeat myself for good reasons, wherever you have the sun, where you have Leo, it is either your soul's purpose, or it can also be where God wants you to shine, okay? He wants me to shine in my 6th house. You see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, what does the 6th house rules? You go through the traditional and you go to 6. Oh, Virgo, work. Okay, so God wants me to shine when I work. In other words, when I go lecturing, I'm supposed to go to a cruise in a boat, again, teaching on a ship. I don't know if I'll be able to do it depending on my surgery. But each time I went to do that cruise in Mexico, I'm on stage. And I give love, I give light, and I give enlightenment to the people that are listening and learning from me, okay? Pretty much where you have that, Leo, that's where God wants you to build your stage, to shine, and to enlighten, or give life, whatever you want to do, okay? So at the same time, it makes me also sometimes a little bit of an egocentric. Leo rules ego when he's exaggerated, you know the game. But ultimately, I have good control of my ego, and I'm just, giving the light as far as this house is concerned. All right, Leo rules the heart. Okay, since it is the sign of health, 1 month after I had my colon cancer surgery, I was on top of my house fixing my roof. Okay, in other words, I heal extraordinarily fast, thanks to the sun in my 6th house of work and health. Correct, Geronia?
Yes, and my dragon's head as well, giving you your basic needs.
I know.
Essentials.
We're not talking about a dragon just yet, but yeah.
Yeah.
It is there. It's a blessing. Okay. All right. So that's why you're working with me. All right. Let's go into the 7th house. This is how Pisces faces the world. Okay. So the lovely, intuitive, shy, insecure, dreamy, and unworldly sign of Pisces faces the world as a very critical Virgo, fussy, picky, critical, detail-oriented. That's why I'm always watching the clock. I want to be on time. I would like everything to be organized. That's where I have Tyrannia as a rising Virgo, which helped me drastically. But as a rule, I faces the world as a Virgo. So people sees me more as somebody which is involved with natural healing. But the way I present myself to the world, especially when I was in France, I was always wearing a suit, nice shoes and a tie. And in public, I like to be, to stand clean and nice and respectable when I face the world, okay? That is the Virgin Mary, which is demanding me to do that. So that is the 7th house. 7th house deals also with open enemies or the public or your partner, okay? Or Gerania in my case, and she's very fussy, very picky. I told you, I can't even wear my shoes in my house. Long story. All right, let's go into the 7, 8 house. This is the money coming from Gerania and the money coming from my business. The 8th house deals with corporated money. Okay, in this area, we both are teaching the stars. We're teaching the laws. Okay, so in the 8th house of metaphysics and witchcraft, Libra means understanding and learning all the laws, the physical and the spiritual laws. And this is how we make our money, and that money goes to the bank. This is also the sign that regulates traditionally the 7th house of marriage. Okay, it's the 8th house. This is the house of legacy. Okay, which means there will be, and there have been contracts that I had to sign when I was a recording artist, because it is on my tail. I was born with the tail and Libra. Everybody got the money but me, and maybe because I was too young and I could not control signing the contract after the new moon. But when I was a recording artist, we sold like thousands and thousands of records all over Europe. And it's my brother who was in Switzerland that says, hey, we hear your music on the radio. I say, hell, why not in France? The contract I signed says all over the world, okay, all over Europe, but no France, okay? They did it on purpose so that I couldn't see how much record was selling. I had no idea where the money went or what it is. I never got a penny from all the 10 years of work that I did in music. Because you see, the tail of the dragon is in Libra. Libra is ruled by Venus. Venus is the planet of the art, and that's where I am a little bit constipated by the stars. Okay, so I understand where I came from, but there is no accident. All right, let's go into the 9th house. As you all know, the 9th house is the house of foreigners, religion, higher education, college, university, and that's where the soft Pisces become the strongest of all signs. It becomes a Scorpio. That means I can talk you to death. The more I talk, the more I teach, the more I regenerate. Okay. Here I have the intuition of the Scorpion. The fixity of purpose, which means you guys paid me a lot of money. I'm going to make sure you not wasting your time with me and get that reflex. We're going to do that with patience and repetition. So the 9th house means also where I die and where I rebirth. Okay. When my wife dropped me, met her in Vegas. Okay. Married her in San Diego, find a guy in Vegas, I die in Vegas. It's fine. And incidentally, I rebirth in Vegas by marrying Charanya in Vegas. So, and Vegas is a Scorpio area. Okay. That's where you have sex, where you have money. This is, you have nightlife. Vegas is a Scorpio environment. So in the 9th house, in foreign ground, I die and I rebirth. Okay. So anytime I deal with foreigners and foreign lands, I am regenerating. And since the 9th house deals with religion, I can see through the manipulation of the politically oriented churches. That's why I'm a fervent fighter against any and all form of religion, because it's total deception. And Scorpio can see through all that. Doesn't mean religions are bad. It works for people, okay? But not for me, period. All right, so this is the 9th house. And sad enough, Scorpio rules death, and I did already lost a lot of people in this country. I've lost also people in other country. One of my best friends just died a few days ago of cancer. He was my age. He was the father of one of my sister's daughter. So pretty sad. Anyway, move on to the career. Okay, in the career area, I become a Sagittarius, the teacher, the philosopher, okay, the prophet. That's what Sagittarius is all about. So it's all about traveling. It's all about teaching. Career demand me also somehow to educate myself, like I did when I became a boat captain, like I did when I get my training in engineering in France. When I learned how to fly helicopters, all that good stuff is due to the study. Okay, the intensity that I have to study regardless what is at me. But my career is pretty much the philosopher, the teacher of a higher order, or the world of Sagittarius. And again, I'm using myself as a Pisces because I'm an obvious case. Okay. All right. Now, let's see about Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the sign that rules the animals. And if you have heard and watched Dr. Paul, he's a Virgo. Okay. He faces the world as a Pisces. And his 10th house is Gemini, which means he talks, he's on the radio, he communicates, and so forth. So Pisces and Virgo are pretty much the same thing. Okay. Because there is only 6 signs. Another person born in September is Dr. Phil. Okay, you can see that he faces the world as a Pisces, where he has his head of the dragon. So he's like he was the public. That's why he went all over the world. And as far as his teaching is concerned, he's a Gemini, which is much of his show all about communication, talking, writing, books, and so forth. Okay. All right. On the 11th house, Capricorn is the ruler of the wishes for a Pisces. In other words, Pisces attract people that have high position, people that can be in the government, like I had over the years, people that have a position, they have names, they have possession, and it also depicts. Yes, this is the house of wishes and friends. Traditionally, we start with Aries, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, wishes and friends. Okay, I am a Capricorn in this house. Okay, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This means also that the people that are my friends are established. Okay, and they can be much older or much younger than me. Okay, so the wishes of Pisces will transpire a little bit late in his life because Saturn, the great malefic, regulates this house. And again, he doesn't give anything for free. We've got to work hard with him. So he makes Pisces a little bit more, I wouldn't say antisocial, but I mean, if Pisces is a negative fish, the only place he's going to socialize is in a church. Okay. And at church, in his wish, he created a church, he creates a groups, okay. And then he has all sorts of people that have a lot of power or a lot of money that come to listen to him, so to speak. And these people can open doors for him or open business for him. Make sense? Again, you have to remember, wherever you have Capricorn, you have also the word use and abuse. Okay. So the negative fish, okay, will use and abuse the congregation. You're talking about Joel Osteen, okay? Tell everybody to give him money, and then he drive God knows what, and he has $1 million boat. So all I'm trying to say, the goat is a use and abuse. He can also manipulate his congregation. He can manipulate his friends to get what he wants. The positive Capricorn, again, is able to use his fishtail. He doesn't have to be negative. He used the stars, because Capricorn is also a representation of metaphysics, not like Scorpio. They're talking about the high structure of Capricorn, the Freemason, the Illuminati, anything that involves engineering, science, and mathematics. So you cannot be an idiot and being that elevated. So, and that's why I do attract people who have names and power that can help me, people that have reached a high level of notoriety. And sometimes they got to be, kept private. All right, so let's go. So there is still either way a drive, okay, to climb the mountain and to build a group. That's why I always wanted to have my school. How many times I've said, I want to have my school. I hope I have my school and I have all my students that can run that school, so my legacy stay with me. So that's part of my wish, to get to the top of the mountain and being recognized for the services that I offer the world. Common sense. All right.
Just on the Capricorn, sorry, just with Capricorn and Pisces, what if you were to have Capricorn actually in Pisces in the 12th house? How would that resonate? Like the actual Capricorn sitting in the 12th house?
Are we going to discuss Capricorn in the 12th house? That would be Aquarius. Aquarius has naturally Capricorn in the 12th house.
Right.
Okay. Pisces cannot have Capricorn in the 12th house. Pisces has Aquarius in the 12th house. I understand what you're saying. What you're saying is, if Saturn was in the 12th house, that's it. That would be Capricorn in the 12th house. So make sure we understand each other. Okay. If that planet was here, then we would have a Capricorn in the 12th house. We'll discuss this when we talk about Saturn in the 12th house later on. Okay. All right. So at the subconscious level, that's where Pisces has access to the universe. Again, this is why Einstein, born in March, had the head of the dragon in Aquarius, and that's where he discovered the law of relativity. Okay, geniuses. And this is the immensity of the unknown. This is traditionally controlled by the depth of all the oceans. Pisces, traditionally, remember, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, the 12th house for Pisces is Aquarius. Okay, which means, since this sign rules the top of the air element, okay, when I say that, Gemini refine in Libra, and Libra and Gemini refine themselves in Aquarius, which is the top of the intellectual potential. Okay, so having such an intellect potential in the subconscious, and since this planet or this sign rules anything to do with the impossible, the incredible, and the depth of the universal mechanics, because it was the cosmos, Pisces has this aptitude to see the future. So a true psychic Pisces get it from the fluids of Uranus, or the energy of Aquarius blessing is subconscious. You guys understand that?
Yep.
Okay, well, it might, okay, let me repeat it. This is traditionally Pisces. It's a very, very deep house. It's a dark house. It's the subconscious. There is many people who understand the power that is generated for a mother to lift the car with one hand when a baby went under it. Okay, that's magic, Pisces. That's incredible. It's out of norms. Okay, in this deep, mystical, secret, magical house of the unknown, you have a genius, put it this way. You have Uranus and or Aquarius, which delegate with the universe. So Pisces, like Einstein did, can go to bed and wake up with the answer of any of his problem or discover the law of relativity. He stumble on it. It's fed with that energy. It's when I have a problem, for example, I take it to bed, I can't sleep. But when I get up, man, I got the right answer. I know exactly what to do because I let it cook in here in the depth of the subconscious. And then now you have the depth of the subconscious, Pisces, mixed with the intellectual potential of Aquarius. Okay, now you got to do your homework. You got to, you got to listen to all that I said, okay, and then go back to it later on when you listen to the course again, and then do your own research on that area. I can only be objective with you guys, okay? I think someone emailed me about, and then you can refresh my memory, Taranya, about certain sign. What was it about? Do you remember that email that you sent me for one of the students? I don't know who sent it to me.
Which I'm not sure. I get so many every day.
Okay, but anyway, it's important to realize that I don't have all the answers. I perceive my reality through my chart. You don't have to agree with that. I'm just pointing out what I have learned and what I consider to be realistic. And proven. Okay. Now, because you might have a better planet than me in any of these houses, your perception of the house will be much more accurate than mine. Okay. You do not negate your own blessings. You're listening to me. Okay. But your stars and your blessing are different. So let's hope that you realize that all I'm teaching, you can always improve it. You can always make it much better. All right. Now,
did someone have a question? Was that you, Caroline?
I am so sorry. My Scorpio son just got home. I didn't realize I was wasn't muted. Sorry.
No problem.
All right.
I do have a question. Why is there so much guilt attached with this sign?
Pisces is very, very unworldly. It is a sign that the key word for Pisces is I feel. Okay, let me go back to this. Maybe you'll understand. I will answer you. The key word for Pisces is I feel. Remember,
I thought it was I see.
No. It's
I thought it was I empathize.
Yeah, I feel. It's all about feeling, imagination, and emotion with Pisces. Okay, Aries is I am. Okay, now the opposite of I feel is I detect. Critical details I detect. Okay, I feel, I detect. Now Pisces can be both depending on the situation. Now Aries is I am, and this is we are. Taurus is I have, and that is we have. Corporated money, IRAs, the bank. That's my money. That's our money in the bank. This is I think. Okay, I think that is right and that is wrong, blah, 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 blah. Your critical thinking. And that is we think. That's the Bible dictates how we think. Do you understand what I'm saying, guys, so far?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now we're going to go
Taurus? What was Taurus again?
I have.
I possess. I have,
okay.
and that's we have.
We
Now,
have, okay.
Actually, maybe I would agree with you, Taranya, on the world I see, because Pisces is a visionary, okay? And the reason why I support it is because now this is Cancer, which is home and family, and it feels. Now, so
Yeah.
I agree with you. Cancer is more of a very, very emotional, very sensitive, that feels. It is not as emotional and as deep as Pisces, but it still feels and see. So Cancer and Scorpio are water sign that feels and see, and are psychics naturally. Leo is basically I am, but it's in a way that I exist, I run, I'm in charge, okay? It's the king. It's in other words, not the same as Aries, okay? Because Leo is the selfish love. That's where you love someone. And Aquarius is universal love, is we love, I love. Do you understand what I'm saying here? I love my children, okay? Well, Aquarius love all the children of the world, including his own, because it's still Leo. Make sense?
Universal, yeah.
All right. And then we come back to the opposite now, okay? So if you have one, you have the other, okay? I am, we are. I own, we own. I think, we think. I feel, now here, I can't feel. The opposite of the emotional, sensitive, feeling Cancer. Now you have the coldness of Capricorn. It does feel, don't get me wrong, but is repressed by Saturn to be more logical, more rational, more calculated. When you're in power, you cannot feel. You may have to give order that kills people. In order to save the rest of the country, you might have to kill a bunch of people. See? So that is home and family. We feel for the family, and here, you know what? I have to feel for my position, for my career, for the world at large. Okay, Leo, and then the rest is pretty much. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you look at the opposite, it will make all sense to all of you. Okay, so.
Sorry, but where does the guilt come in?
Okay, the guilt comes from. Let's say you were very, very, very rich, okay? And you're a Leo or you're a Capricorn, you ain't gonna feel guilty. You're gonna be very happy, okay? But Pisces is so much in emotional, so sensitive. Remember, it's a connection of all the signs. He has so much money, he cannot keep it. He has to give it away because he feels bad about it. That's called the guilt. If a Pisces says something bad to somebody, the first thing he's going to do is to apologize because he has hurt somebody. He has learned what it means to be hurt, to be massacred with words, to be beaten in the head, okay? Remember, Pisces has been every sign of the zodiac. So more than any other sign, he knows what it is to suffer. So if it behave in a wrong way, okay, immediately he's going to feel guilty because he should know better because he has hurt somebody and he is feeling the pain because of his intuition, his sensitivity, which is extreme. Make sense?
Yes. Thank you.
And at the same time, at church, they're telling you, you know what, if you have a lot of money, give it to me because that's going to help Jesus. So it makes you feel guilty. Okay, you have a lot of money, give it to me. So we're going to make the congregation better, bigger, make you feel guilty because you have money. All right. So let's see. It's exactly what happened with my friend Byron Butler. Remember this millionaire doctor who is in America in the latest reconstructive surgery, cancer. Okay, he was a Leo. He faces the world in Aquarius. We did a bunch of TV together. He was a student of mine, and then he had so much money. Okay, that he signed a contract with his church in Paradise Valley. But when he got old, he couldn't make the money because he suffered the Alzheimer's disease, and the church sued him. They sued him. He lost his house. He lost everything. He ended up very, very poor, and he was a millionaire. And all he did all his life, knowing he made so much money, is to give to the church because he wanted to help the world. He wanted to give people, because on the 8th house of corporate money, the very powerful, practical, down-to-earth, fixed Leo becomes a soft, guilty Pisces. He has to give his money. He has to share to keep feels good. Make sense? He was trained this way by the church to do so. Long story. All right. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go and talk about the moon, okay, in every sign of the zodiac. But first, you need to understand a little bit more about what the moon principle. The moon, again, as I said last night, okay, is a little bit more than a dead rock hanging out there for the sake of beauty, okay? The moon is our closest satellite. And this means in many ways that she's so close to the earth that you're going to feel, as Cancer, feel the energy of the moon, again, and at the subconscious level. You heard, you're lunatic, you're moody, you're crabby, and you all know in time of a full moon, all the emergency services are going berserk. The tension is right up. Okay, now if you have a full moon in the sign of Scorpio, good luck to you. You stay home. That's the night to stay home. Okay, all right, because now the intensity, since the moon regulates your emotional response to life. Okay, knowing where she is very, very important to see the type of emotion that people are going to generate around you. Okay, so the power of the moon is so very strong upon the earth because she also creates the tides. Okay, and then the body is made of about 75% of water. So people who have a strong Cancer, like Oprah Winfrey, she was born with the tail of the dragon in Cancer. She's going to be like a balloon. She's going to go up and down, and she's always on television. She was talking about weight, and all of a sudden you see her like a balloon. Next day you see her going down and up and down. That's the moon. Of course, she's no cosmic conscious. She had Dr. Phil. I would have explained that to her had she had me on the show, but it's not the time for me. Okay, maybe when I'm dead. So all I'm trying to tell you is that moon changes sign every 2 or 3 days, and each time she changes a sign, it depicts the general atmosphere, not only for yourself, but for the people around you and for the world. So in other words, the moon also creates the news, and she, as she displays billions and trillion tons of water, she puts stress on the fault. Okay, and especially in the sign of Aquarius or Leo, you can expect a lot of earthquakes. Okay, so basically, the scientific community is not able to connect the energy of the moon and the human response to it. And what's amazing, again, as I said earlier, 75% of the human body is made of water. So we are all under the jurisdiction of the moon. The moon is like a mother. Okay, so the key word here of the moon is the moon regulates your emotional response to life and depict your domesticity. If you have the moon in Cancer, in Taurus, in Pisces, even in Scorpio, even Capricorn, okay, or Virgo, that is sign that are natural set to cook, to clean, to organize. So this moon in those signs will make these male and female very domestic. Like if you got a moon in Aries and Aquarius or Leo, whatever it is, that's got to be a little bit different. You know, cooking won't be a priority, okay? Unless you have a rising in Virgo, your house will be a big mess. That's why you have people that also collecting. The moon collect. The moon collect things that are very old, antique. And then if you have a bad aspect to the moon, that's going to create a hoarders, people that cannot let go of things. Okay. Moon in Taurus can produce also hoarders because it's I have and I possess and I'm going to let it go. Okay. There's reasons for people to be who they are. And it's all written in light through the stars. All right. So remember the law in the eternal battle between emotion and logic in any situation. Emotion will always win and you will always lose. That's the law. That's why you have people in any situation, they start to strangle each other because the emotion took over and can't control the emotion. So when the moon is in Scorpio, which is one of the most emotional, destructive signs of the zodiac, that's where you get killed. Okay, so be cautious. Now, we're going to start with the moon in Aries. Okay. What was that? Somebody said something?
So
No.
that means you respond aggressively?
You could say that, yes, of course, because Aries is what? Aries is all about now, me, I, and fast. Okay, so moon in Aries gonna make somebody like who has the Dr. Phil has the moon in Aries too. Yeah, it makes him aggressive, makes him competitive, makes him impatient. Okay, yeah. So you're talking about the emotional response of life to be in a warrior sign. So if you say something to that person, you have to remember Aries has horns. Okay, And he does not necessarily think, he acts and he thinks later. So moon in Aries is not exactly a good position because now you have the element of fire with water. And fire and water,
Steamy.
exactly. So the water put the fire out. So it's not exactly helping each others. But there are people that were born with the moon in Aries, and they have to learn to control their emotion because they're fighting all the time. Okay. All right, so not exactly domestic. Since the moon represents your home, there is chances that you lose the house in a fire, in an earthquake, or the entire Oma area would be a battling zone. Okay, you have the moon into the sign of war with Mars. Think of the moon with Mars. That boil. Okay, now moon in Taurus. The moon in Taurus is dignified. Dignified means the best position you can get. Why? Because Taurus is all about security, solidity. It's all about, it's all about beauty. So if you have the moon in Taurus, you're already blessed to have a fantastic home where you're going to show your wealth. You're going to be lucky in the real estate. I'm talking about the sign of money, okay? Money, money, money. And the moon is into this sign. So the emotional response to life for that person would be to cook, to provide solidity, security for the family, for the kids. So that is dignified. You cannot get better. In fact, who has the moon in Taurus? Biden. That's why it is in the White House. You're talking about a big house with a lot of artwork, right? Biden was born with the moon in Taurus.
Could that be a speculative house as well?
A what?
A speculative house. Could that be if the moon was in that house? Could
There is always, you have to remember the opposite side. The opposite side is always there. I mean, look at Biden, for example. Okay, he lives in the White House. Okay, he has all the amenity. Everybody cook for him. He's surrounded with artwork. There's a hell of a lot of money. That costs a lot of money. This is the people's house. But look, the FBI, the CIA, and the Secret Service are there too, right? They're watching. Make sense?
Yes.
When I point out the moon, you can't forget the other side, which is going to mingle it. Okay, it will make sense as we go on. Let's go back to Aries because we did not discuss that. Okay, so since the moon in Aries is like a boiling war zone with the family, okay, now you have the Libra energy that allows somebody who has the moon, the moon in Aries to manage his environment. If you don't piss off the Aries and you don't play with his horns, there's a billion of people that have the moon in Aries. They are able to hang around at home and have a good time. But they're at home, they will want to watch football, to watch boxing matches. Their attitude at home is a warrior. And then, you know what, usually the house is more for balance and harmony and relaxing. Okay, so if you have a bunch of Aries living with you in a house, the sun, the moon, the rising, the head and tail of the dragon, good luck to you. You might as well turn this house into a boxing ring match. Okay, just giving you an idea of the energy. Okay, we discussed the second house of Taurus. Let's go to my moon. I was born with the moon in Gemini. Okay, I'm a Pisces. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have the moon at home. Okay, which is dignified. You see that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Cancer. Okay, so my moon in Gemini makes me a talker. Blah 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 blah. My moon in Gemini allows me also, because it regulates my domestic environment, to write, to talk, to attract radio, to attract all sorts of things of communication. Moon in Gemini is loaded with mental and physical energy. That's why we call us, born with a strong Gemini, ADD or ADHD. But that's a gift. Einstein was ADD. It's not a disorder. It's a gift because we're not supposed to sit along on the bank at school and listen to the teacher regurgitating things that we don't necessarily agree with. And that's where I'm teaching from my house. That's where I can reach the world or the entire world through my internet or my teaching. Okay, make sense? Moon in Gemini. Moon in Gemini gives also an aptitude not only in communication, sales, which thing that I used to do when I was general manager, talking all the time with dozens of telephone all over me, it was crazy. But it could make me also driving too fast, because my emotional response to life is to go there real fast. So I have no patience, especially with the head of the dragon in Aries, Aries and air, Aries fire, air. Poof, I'm like lightning bolt. So I have no patience. That's why I broke my arms, my hand. Would it be either fighting or driving? I had 2 or 3 accidents where people die around me because they are drunk. They drive crazy. Pay attention. I was young. I end up with broken nose, broken hand, broken arm, broken everything. So that's the moon in Gemini that makes me driving all so fast. And that's why I got stopped a few times by the cops, because I'm fast. Got it? And the aptitude to learn languages is always given, because the moon in Gemini is my home and I'm living on foreign ground. You see that? Sagittarius, foreign land. Just use the housing system. Okay. Now, imagine now you find out that that person has the moon in Gemini. Into the discussion, she give you the key. Okay, I'm a Pisces. Oh, I remember my chart. I have the moon in Gemini. So now I should tell you exactly, to a great extent, how that person idiosyncrasies, his reaction to life is. And it'll be obvious, because you will see that person moving, acting fast, always acting. Okay. So if you see somebody which is speaking fast, moving, saying jokes, and skinny, you have a Gemini. Okay. Majority of the planet will be in Gemini. All right, moon in Cancer. I mean, you're going to tell me, wow, the moon now is in his own house. That is absolutely phenomenal. Not exactly, because now you're talking about the moon. It's a good position because it's water and water, but it makes you too watery. Another one, too much emotion, too much sensitivity, too much emotional response to life for the family, for the food, and for the security. But there is no rational. You know, Taurus got to work. It's practical. It's down to earth. It's logical. It's an earth sign. Now you have a water. Okay, it's like having 2 Cancer. Here you have a Cancer, and then you have a Taurus. Here you have a Cancer, and you have a Gemini. Okay, that's why I like to
have
work.
floods.
Yeah, just think, when I say moon in Gemini, for example, you know the moon is controlled the sign of Cancer. So think of a Cancer with a Gemini. Okay, do you understand that or not?
Yes.
All right. It's like here. It's like here. It's like here. You have the moon in Aries, so you have a Cancer, very emotional Cancer, okay, with an Aries living together. Now here you have a Cancer living with a Taurus. Okay, now they work together because one's home and family, and the other one has the ability to make money and support it. Okay, it's rational. Then you have a moon in the sign of Gemini, so you have a Cancer and a Gemini. The Gemini wants to play around, he wants to go out, he wants to move around, he wants to do things, going to get bored, while the Cancer wants to stay home and cook. Okay, so there's a little bit of a conflict between the air element and the water element. Okay, Cancer, and you have a double water, double emotion, double feeling energy. So all the energy will be going for the home and the family. Okay, and then again, you use the Capricorn, which means working, making sure that the career, the standing, the father is doing his part. That's the mother. The moon is the mother, and Capricorn cold, has to work, has to structure, he has to maintain the solidity. Is the father. Okay, moon is the mother. Capricorn is the father. All right, let's go into the moon in Leo. Okay, now you have the emotional response to life. Cancer, home and family with Leo. And these people will never really grow up. People who have the moon in Leo will be eternal children because Leo was children. Okay, so they can grow up really. They have the mother. They are very, very much attached to the grandmother, to the mother, to the family, to the brother, to the sisters, the family nucleus. And then you have the lion here, the protecting lion. So the moon in Leo represents an emotional response to life, to maybe sometimes live through the children. Okay, a person who has the moon in Leo did not succeed in life, so they're going to push their kids to become artists, to become what they couldn't do, because Leo is all about building a stage and getting famous. And this person is born with the moon in Leo. He didn't have the education, he didn't have the stars to succeed, but he had a child. Okay, so that moon in Leo, we want the child to be famous for him. And they'll be very, very protective, and they will push that child or the family, whomever, the brother, the sisters, to get on stage. Okay. But
Is it okay with the sun as well, like the sun and the moon in that house? Like,
yeah, it's like having the sun and the moon. It's like having the family nucleus, the mom, the dad, the brother, the sisters, the family. And then you have a Leo, which is fame and power together. I mean, your imagination is your limit in this era. I'm giving you the feedback the best way I can. Okay. You're talking about the element of water, emotion, sensitivity, and you have the element of Leo, which is more fame and not supremely domestic. Okay, so the emotion is to bring love and light, which is good, but it's also anti-family, because Leo wants to go and have fun. He wants to
yellow fire. Would that be right?
Yeah,
the yellow fire. Okay.
There you go. All right, now Moon in Virgo.
Hey, DT, a real quick question. Since the sun is bringing light and love, would the moon also be a form of light, a luminary, or not?
It's still a luminary. The moon has never been a planet. It's a luminary. We call it a planet, but it's a luminary. It reflects. It doesn't have light of its own.
Okay, got it.
It's not the sun. Okay, it just reflects the light.
So it reflects. Okay.
Yeah, that's why we call it a luminary. All right, Moon in Virgo. Again, that is good. That is good in terms of if you are into, the person will be into natural healing, big time. The person will be into closing, fussy, picky, critical. The emotional response to life will be for perfection. So that's not necessarily going to be an easy position. Now you have a Cancer and you have a Virgo. Now Cancer is very emotional and sensitive. It's all about family. When Virgo is all more cold, more critical about family member. Okay, if there is any conflict with any family member, that Virgo is not going to be happy. Okay, so at the same time, there is plus and negative in every one of the sign and the moon position with it. Somebody who has the moon in Virgo has an extremely good attention to detail. That's perfect. If the person is a doctor, an editor working for the IRS, or making taxes, you want to pay attention of that. That can bring somebody also who works in mechanic in the house. Somebody that moon in Virgo can make a person becoming fixing watches in the house, or bringing stuff in the house that has a lot of detail and to desiccate. Okay.
You mentioned closing there, DT. Closing, what does that mean? Like
closing? I mean, Virgo rules closing. Virgo create the detail of Virgo. We make a dress with all the detail, with all the measurements. So that's Virgo is a feminine sign. Okay, so since they like neat, clean, organized, they're perfect in making clothes that are nice, neat. It fits you good. So it is natural. If you have the moon in Virgo, you're going to be definitely a good seamstress. Okay.
So DT, I started thinking about what you said with the luminary and reflecting.
Yeah.
So that in essence, as you have a moon in any of these signs, it's reflecting both the positive and negative, the yin and the yang, the good and the bad of each of these signs, correct?
You got it.
Okay.
But it's also, you have to remember the moon is all about emotions. Okay. So let me bring you to, we're going to go back to Libra later, but let's go in. No, well, now let's keep going. That your answer will be here in Scorpio. Let's go into the moon in Libra. Okay, moon in Libra is good. Why? Because now you don't have a warrior. Okay. The moon, the emotional response to life is for balance and harmony. So these people want to have an environment, family environment, where everybody loves each other, where everything is beautiful. And that's going to create a fantastic interior designer. Because they will be constantly, oh, this look better here, this look better here. And then you can add, if the person is a rising in Virgo, for example, there's more attention to this physical aspect of Libra, which is making the environment harmonious, because Libra is all about balancing. Okay, now moon in Libra means also being curious about the laws, the laws of man, or religion, or the laws of light, astrology. Again, that your emotional response to life now is to understand, use, respect the laws, okay? And it's a good position for the moon because the moon regulates your home area and everything has to be in place and nice and docile and beautiful and harmonious. Make sense?
Mhm.
All
Yeah.
right. Moon in Scorpio. Now, that would be Elizabeth Taylor, because now you have the emotional response to life, okay, into the deadly sign of Scorpio. So you're talking about a very, very emotional Cancer living with a supremely emotional, dangerous Scorpio. And since Scorpio is all about dying and rebirthing, this emotional outburst will be so violent. Well, remember, where you have Scorpio, that's where you can die. That's where you can attract the police or the criminals, okay? And a few times the cops went to her house, okay, including the security service, okay? So moon in Scorpio, believe me, if you meet somebody with the moon in Scorpio, run the other way. Do not mingle with that person unless you want to be stung. Why do I say that? It's because my first wife was born a Pisces with the tail of the dragon in Cancer and the moon in Scorpio. It was a nightmare of emotion. I was young, I could not control myself. But luckily for me, I knew that if I start to beat the hell out of her, I would probably kill her, but I had to control myself. Okay. And she was cheating on me. She was saying I don't love her enough. I didn't show attention and love to her when I was working my butt off. Okay. So she stung me to death. And then that really affected me really, really bad for many, many years. I had a vendetta against women for a while because that experience with the moon in Scorpio. Okay. So this is on the negative side, the worst position for the moon. That is called in fall. You have dignified, you see, Taurus, solidity, money, security, and then in fall. All she wanted is, and what she did, because she was very smart, okay, she wanted money, okay? What she did is to marry like 3 or 4, she had 5 husbands, 5 kids, none of the same husband, and then she kicked the husband and she get the money from the government. You see, corporated money, manipulation, okay? So she has 5 kids, including my son. None of them has the same father. And she had the plan from a very, very early age to screw all these guys and make money in the process. That is the moon in Scorpio. Okay. On the positive side, because you can also have an ego, okay? You don't throw the baby with the water, okay? Moon in Scorpio represent a depth of penetration that is out of this world. This person can look through you and you could see the giveaway of the Scorpion moon because she's so close with the magnetic look. The giveaway of a Scorpio, power Scorpio, is through the magnetic eyes. You will see that especially with Tauruses, with Virgos, and with obviously Scorpio.
Can I ask something? You said, Louis, if you ever meet anyone with the moon in Scorpio, to run the other way. But you also say, don't throw the baby with the water because you also have the eagle.
I'm
so
talking about, honey, I'm talking about my experience.
Oh, okay. But how are you? How are we supposed to know really to
How
run the
do
other
you
way?
know? How do you know? Well, it's practically impossible because Scorpio power is also to hypnotize and to sensualize you. As a moon in Scorpio can make you feel so horny and so sexy just by looking at you. You're talking about the sign of sex. Close to you, the closest thing you can have is the moon in Scorpio. They can pass on their sensual energy through their eyes. I can't say it in public, but I have had experience with people that were born in Scorpio or the moon in Scorpio, including my wife, my ex-wife, at a sensual level, which is absolutely unbelievable unless you go through it and experience it yourself. You can't really understand it. Well, you take a chance. If you know somebody has the moon in Scorpio, you're taking a big chances because that person can also kill you. Okay, a very, very disturbing fight with a Scorpio, especially the moon in Scorpio. Now you're playing with some serious danger here. Okay, again, remember, wherever you have Scorpio, you have life and death, and you have the police, and you have the criminal element. Okay, As simple as that. So as I said, I had a bad experience with a moon in Scorpio. You can look at also at the Elizabeth Taylor. Okay. She was a Pisces, like my ex-wife. She had the moon in Scorpio and she staggered 8 husbands. So somebody must be right. Okay. That's all there is.
Dieter, you mentioned the Taurus with the head of the dragon in Taurus, and you mentioned the word four. What does that mean? You mean the negative part of the tail? Is that right? From
Out
the
of
head
control.
Yeah, control.
Control.
Yeah.
Okay. So the
Scorpio, Scorpio is all about control and power, period. Okay. He wants to have the control. So he's going to do it by using sex, or using money, or using his witchcraft residue. Now, moon in Scorpio is also, can also sting oneself. They live at night. They're very private, very private. If you have a child that has the moon in Scorpio, you better make a lock in her or his bedroom, because he's going to turn around and he's going to really stand. You don't go into the privacy of a bedroom of a Scorpio, especially the moon in Scorpio. Those kids are absolutely incredibly difficult to handle. Would it be on the sun or in the moon? Okay, the Scorpio can create on the moon, on the rising or the dragon, can simply create an eagle or a lizard. It's not yellow. Okay, if the Scorpio is too strong and too negative, depending on the upbringing, the environment, or God knows what, that kid is going to kill others or kill himself, period. That's just sad, but that's the way it is. Or this kid will become a doctor.
Will you be teaching us how you know where your moon's located, or how you figure that out?
Oh, that's easy. Yeah, you have a software, any software of astrology. Once you point out, we're going to do that later. I'm going to show you how to run a chart. Good. That's the best way to learn. Okay, we're going to do that later. All right. So understood the moon in Scorpio, guys. Okay.
Can you quickly give us the positive of the Scorpio again? Sorry.
Scorpio moon, and intuition. People who have the moon in Scorpio are very private, as I said earlier. It produces people that are attracted to anything that is secretive, that is power, that is sexual, sensual. It will represent also a prostitute having client in her own house. Okay, Scorpio, sex in the house. That's the lizard, obviously. Or people that distribute drugs from their house, and then you have a police coming in and killing everybody. I mean, exaggerating. Okay. On the positive side, you have somebody who will get anything in the house that is dead, a piece of furniture, and bring it back alive, or a whole house. Okay, and they will rebuild it and sell it back, making tons of money. Remember, Scorpio, give life, takes life. Okay, you get something dead and you put it back alive. That's the key word. It is the imagination is your limit. I'm just giving you my feedback. You can go and drag into that as long as you want. You will find you're on a direction in time once you build a reflex.
Private investigator.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's somebody who works as an investigator, and he gets in the house and he does all his homework. And of course, there is a lot of security in the house, a lot of camera, maybe develop all sorts of security. He can be also an insurance agent. You know, you're talking about the moon. The moon is home. Okay, Scorpio is corporated money, the IRS, insurance. So this person may want to be drag himself into working for an insurance company. Okay.
So it wouldn't be a good time to have surgery with the moon in Scorpio. That'd be right.
It would be what? Say it again.
Wouldn't be a good time to have surgery with the moon in Scorpio.
Well, not necessarily. Not necessarily. It all depends. For example, my dad is an Aries and he's dying of prostate cancer. Okay, that's the 8th house of death for an Aries. But at the same time, when you add to the body, let's say there are ladies out there who are doing breast surgery, okay? They're doing the breast surgery after the full moon, and that turns into cancer or complications. You don't add to the body after the full moon. You try to add to the body in the waxing moon. So it's one of the rules that has to be investigated. So you can do surgery after the full moon, okay? But I would not do it personally. I would try to do it in the waxing moon unless I want somebody to cut my head off.
What about removing a brain mass?
Again, we discussed this
Same
when we
thing.
go into other area of the moon. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so let's go into the world of Sagittarius. Moon in Sagittarius. Now you have somebody that is at home, but is reading all the time, because Sagittarius wants to travel. Now you have a Cancer. Cancer wants to stay home, and this guy wants to travel. So how do you travel? You read, or you watch TV, you watch program. Or it means also, since it is their home, the person is young, is adventurous, he has nothing to stop him. He goes and live in Mexico or Australia. He lives on foreign ground. The moon in Sagittarius or the moon in Gemini, by mutual perception, means living on foreign ground, learning, teaching, writing from the base of operation. We're coming back to the sign of Gemini, the same story. Get it?
Could that be someone who then stays at home, reads traveling books?
Exactly. Okay. Now,
Could that be the moon in Netflix?
Exactly. Let's go into the moon in Capricorn. That is, again, a bad position. When I say bad, it can be bad, it can be good. Remember, there is no such a thing of good or bad. It's both. Okay. All right. So moon in Capricorn. Now you're talking about the most emotional, sensitive, family-oriented sign of the zodiac. That's your home. Okay. And then when you get out of the house, where do you go? To your career, right? It's the opposite. It's cold. It's calculated. It's all about career. It's all about getting a name. It's all about public standing. The family is important for Capricorn or Cancer, don't get me wrong. But the moon in Capricorn is very cold, very calculated. And that represents sometimes why children are mad to the mother or to the father, because the person is unable to show affection or sensitivity. I'm telling you, like when I see my brother, it's the same thing. He's like a rock. He says to me, you know what, when I walk with my son and he gives me his hands, I feel weird. I said, what the hell are you talking about? He says, I don't know. It's like I don't have, it feels weird. I don't feel like he does. That's Capricorn. See, that's what I've learned. So the emotional response to life is more for career, it's more for building a name, building a position of structure, of power, than to actually delegate with the emotional values of the house. So it's like a president. He has so much responsibilities. Okay, when he gets home, he can't take away responsibility of the decision of the meeting he had the next day in Congress. And then that brings a lot of stress on the family, and the kids are raised with a father or a mother that way. There's a mother who had the moon in Capricorn that decide to work for the government, that decide to become politician, okay? And the price is paid by the family member who don't understand why you decide to go and travel all the time, you're never home, okay? That is one of the best way to point it out. Okay, the emotional response to life is to gear himself towards success and accomplishment. Family is second, cold, calculated. Got it? All right, move on to the moon in Aquarius. That would be Tehran, yeah?
Oh, no.
Weird. I'm not joking, though. Terania is the most incredible. I'm always learning with her. Yeah. Anyway, so moon in Aquarius, you're talking about home and family, and the world of Aquarius, which is extremely friendly and weird. So it brings the environment in the tourist house. We have computers, we have technology, we have astrology in the base of operation. We connect into the world and so forth. But Terania is also very, very private. She's a Virgo rising, and a hidden dragon is also Virgo. But in many ways, the moon in Aquarius is on her tail. So she's kind of antisocial. She doesn't like my friends. Sometimes she doesn't like to go out, meet people. She doesn't like to be part of a group. She wants to be with me. I am her world, she says. Well, understandable. So I have all my planet and all my stellium, my Venus right on the moon sign. So that we discuss this when we do a chart, okay? But basically, the moon in Aquarius is feeding, loving, and protecting the world. Got it? Because
that's a wishing house, is it, DT?
So what?
Yeah. Sorry.
What did you say?
Yeah, that's a wishing house there. See, the wishing house with the moon. Is that kind of like a house, like a speculative house, if you were to buy a lotto ticket or something like that for your wishes? Is that something where the moon
you can
would work?
Yeah, but since she has the tail in this area, it may be interesting. If she wins money, it ain't gonna be. Well, don't get me wrong. She got me with $1, $800 in Las Vegas. You see, we got married in Las Vegas, okay, and we were surrounded by electronics. And I said, "Hey, here is $1, okay, just." Play that machine. And $800.
$844.77 to be exact.
Oh wow!
That's the Virgo somewhere.
Good house for
Yeah,
wishes.
and I prepared her. I work on her. I said, sit down. Okay, pick a machine. She picked a machine, and I talked to her, and I hypnotized her, and I said, "You're going to win. You're going to believe you're going to win." So I was playing with the head of the dragon, because the head of the dragon in Leo is on the 5th house of speculation, and speculation means gambling. So I hypnotized her. And then it took her a while before she actually pulled that thing. And then she finally did when she felt, I said, you're going to win. Believe you're going to win. Don't think anything else. You're going to win. There's no other way. The money is going to come down. And she believed it, and she pulled, and she got 800, whatever. So I cannot play. You cannot use metaphysics for selfish ends, but you can go around it. That's what I did. Long story. So understand, the moon is mostly for home and family. Okay. And then the moon in Aquarius is now caring, feeding, loving through the world of Aquarius, technology, astrology, the entire world. And this is what she's doing right here, right now. Make sense?
Yes.
All right. Now, the moon in Aquarius is weird. She could come up with Poseidon dancing. I don't know where she's going to get these dance. She's entertaining, put it this way. And emotions are all over the place because she got Mercury in Pisces. But she has a very, very interesting side of herself that you got to be prepared. And since Aquarius rules UFO, she could tell you stories about extraterrestrial that happened to her with me in our bedroom. It's a long story. Maybe she has this explained in her book. Do you have it in your book, Mama? I could have.
Mama. Well, no, I didn't talk.
Maybe. But anyway, one of these days you might have to talk about this UFO.
Well, I mean, no, I think my book does express originality in itself.
Oh yeah. When you read this book,
you'll see that. But that's my poetry book, and then my other book, which I began many years ago, and I just never finished it. I don't know how I wrote 525 pages, but it was based upon all the work that we do and our experiences. So yeah, I mean, you can see that clearly.
Well, anyway, and then we come back to the moon in Pisces, if you remember. Okay, we already discussed this. Okay, now we still have a little bit more to go. So now we did talk about the moon, which is right after the sun. The next planet we're going to talk about is Mercury. Okay, all right, Mercury. Mercury rules Virgo and Gemini. Mercury is called in Greek mythology the Lord of communication and transportation. He rules everything that moves. And as you all know, 3 times a year, Mercury goes retrograde and mess up communication, transportation, and so forth. But there is always good in a Mercury retrograde because it's allowing you to catch up with the past. It also allows you to be more perceptive, more intuitive to things that you would not pay attention before. That's the purpose of Mercury. Mercury location by house is kind of interesting. It has the same energy than any other planet in every house. Apart from that, it's not an emotional reaction. It's an intellectual reaction. So let's talk about Mercury in Aries. Okay, but good luck to you. If you meet somebody who is born with Mercury in Aries, now you have the planet of communication, which is air into fire. Okay, so these people are going to talk really, really, really fast. Okay, and these people can also be so competitive that you're going to have a problem to slow them down. I mean, Mercury is controlled Gemini. Okay, so it's fast already. And then you have it in the sign of Aries, who wants to be number 1. So these people have a tendency to lead conversation. They are not necessarily going to be able to hear what you say, okay? Because they're already on the second train of thoughts, which it could be completely different world to where they started. But as a rule, Mercury in Aries makes people who wants to be drivers, fast drivers, people who are into the world of communication. They want to be leaders in the world on the field of communication or journalism. Mercury in Aries means also going where there is bombs and fire and danger, natural disaster, and talk about it. Mercury, communication, journalism, Aries, danger, fire, war. Understand what I'm trying to say? So that makes the soul very competitive, especially if Mercury is on the first house, because Mercury can be in any houses, right?
Wait, I think did we talk about the moon in Pisces?
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. Did we even finish Pisces with the moon?
No.
Okay,
I don't think so.
let's go back to the moon in Pisces.
We actually started with it, if you remember.
Yeah, that's what I thought. We started with Mercury in Pisces.
You
Well, no,
started with the moon in
started-
Pisces.
No,
Yeah.
we started talking about Pisces.
Okay, all right.
But not the moon.
All right, let's go. But
Yeah.
the moon in Pisces, now you have the very, in fact, Urania, what do you think a Cancer and a Pisces together would do?
Are you asking me what do I think a
Yes.
Cancer and a Pisces?
Yes.
Well, Cancer feed and protects,
Right.
and Pisces is all about the arts and imagination.
Now you have two water, supremely emotional and sensitive signs together. Okay.
Right.
So it's all about caring, it's all about spirituality, it's all about religion, it's all about the art. When the moon is in Pisces, okay, moon in Pisces is very, very private. These people will look for a hole in the ground and become a monk. These people are not exactly on this planet. They are in their own world. Moon in Pisces means also that they regenerate by the water. They can live on a boat. They can live by the water in an exotic place. They can live in an environment where there is a lot of art, okay? Or they can be also working for anything that involves oil, okay? We are talking about the emotional response to life into the world of Pisces. So it's all about psychic power. It's all about spirituality. It's all about creativity. It's all about the art, intuition, and feelings. A Cancer and a Pisces together, I mean, you're talking about water, into water, and God knows how deep that person can go. On the negative side, that person is going to end up in jail. Remember, Pisces was church, synagogue, asylum, confinement, drugs, and alcohol. So these people have a natural addictive personality, so they can become drunk at home, okay? And then they end up in a mental institution, or worse, they can buy, sell, use drugs, and then end up in jail, confined, or they go end up in a funny farm, whatever it is, on the negative side, okay? So there is a very, very deep drive to serve, to love, to help. And these people are set naturally sad enough to swim downstream, especially if the upbringing has been indoctrinating in any form of religion. Okay, so moon in Pisces is also very, very intuitive. Okay, again, it's all up to you. You know the good and the bad fish. Okay, now you put a Cancer, which is extraordinarily emotional and sensitive and concerned with family, together. So these people are definitely gonna make food, okay, and give it for free. Okay, these people can become homeless. Okay, also, these people, if they swim downstream, of course, okay, drugs, alcohol, and so forth. But there is a very, very strong drive to help, to support, to guide, to feed and protect into the world, very unselfish world of Pisces. Understood?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Would Rasputin, would he be a good example of a moon in Pisces?
Yeah, Rasputin, I would say that. I mean, look at Houdini, for example. Houdini was born with the head of the dragon in Pisces, okay? So he was doing all sorts of magic, okay? And he was putting himself into the water, okay? And he was able to get out because, see, Virgo, some strong sense of detail and organization. So he was making all these tools to make believe magic. He was born with the tail of the dragon in Virgo, which means if you read the story, he contracted appendix, okay, and somebody beat him on the intestines, and he died. He died of appendix being beaten or poisoned at the same time. I don't know if you read the story of Houdini, but you could see the Virgo Pisces in action full speed. So
Oh
this-
yeah, Houdini, they said that he continued to get better and better every single time. And even on the last time, they really believed he was going to make it. But then they tried this new drug that was homeopathic, and they believe that they don't know if it was spiked or if it was something due to the homeopathic drug mixing with the regular drug.
Yeah, but he died because of problem with his guts and poisoning.
Yeah.
All right, well, it's just a dragon in action. Okay. All right. Are we ready to go with Mercury in the signs now? Yes.
Well, Louis, it's okay. Yeah, we can. It's 7:43. I just wanted to make sure because
27. No, we still have another 10 to 15
yeah,
minutes.
I just want to make sure that
Yeah, I mean,
that
I'll be able
where
to
will
go. I'll be able to go around. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so let's go into Mars in Taurus. I mean, Mercury in Taurus. Now, the mental process is all about making money. It's all about making banking. It's all about solidity, security. Mercury in Taurus is earthy. So the mind is concerned with geology. The mind is concerned with anything that means making money, corporate money, investment, and so forth. You know, when you deal with Taurus and Scorpio is money, especially in the second house. In the third house, your Mercury is dignified, okay? Because it is into the sign of Gemini, traditionally, okay? So Mercury in the third house or in the sign of Gemini, you have somebody which could be a chatterbox, okay? Non-stop talking, saying jokes, that is perfect again, if it's channeled properly through education to become a translator, a photographer, linguistic. These people also use their hands. Mercury in Gemini is prone to break hands and bones and arms because of the speed. It could make people, again, becoming racing driver, getting involved in transportation, driving a car, truck, God knows what. Mercury, communication, transportation, it is on a sign. Double the power. Mercury in Cancer, obviously, the mind is now concerned with what? Food, real estate, home, family. So the soul is constantly dedicating, talking, and in anything that brings the nucleus alive. These people have a problem, of course, since Cancer tend to live in the past, to be stuck into the past. But Mercury in Cancer is also very intuitive because you're talking about the planet of communication into a very intuitive sign. So Mercury in Cancer is the mental process is geared towards security, home, and family, okay? And food. So these people can learn all about food and become chef because now they have to feed physically or intellectually. Mercury in Leo. Okay, these you can have a bit of a problem here because these people would think that they know much better than you do. That's when the ego gets on the way, okay? On the positive side, Mercury in Leo, a great opportunity given to the soul to shine through his spoken and printed words. You're talking about a teacher. The mind is concerned with children, so they become teacher. They teach the kids. Okay, Mercury is in Leo, so in somewhere somehow they want to get a lot of education so they can shine. Okay, the downfall, as I said earlier, is since Leo rules the ego. Sometimes these people think because of the education they all automatically know better than you do, and that could be conflicting. Okay, so there is a drive to own the conversation with Mercury in Leo. The mind is also concerned with children. The mother born with Mercury in Leo will be constantly thinking about that child, okay? Which is good, don't get me wrong, but it could be a little bit stressing. All right, Mercury in Virgo, I mean, that's dignified again. I mean,
Louis, one other question, back to Mercury in Leo. Could that produce something along the lines of with, I don't know, like sex offenders having a thing for kids?
oh, absolutely. That would be more Pluto, honey. Pluto in Leo, okay?
Oh, really?
Yeah, oh
Okay.
yeah. Pluto is Scorpio sex. I'll explain
Okay,
that. I'll
got it,
explain
got
Pluto in generation later. Okay.
Okay,
In
got
fact,
it.
we're going to do that next when I'm done with all the planets. We're going to talk about Pluto in this time because it affects all generations. All right. So Mercury in Virgo, now you have the mental process and the critical thinking being into the sign of criticism. So it's going to be very difficult for these people to rest their mind because the tremendous attention to detail can make them over worried, okay, thinking about work and service in the world and over worrying about their health. Mercury in Virgo, they certainly do not want to deal with traditional doctors. They want to stay natural. Of course, this Mercury means I could survive with plants, I can live with plants, and they become cows. And exaggerating, of course. So, but at the good side, this is a good editor. This is somebody which is committed to work and do a good job. These are the perfect employee to have, because the sense of duty, Virgo is a sign of service. Okay, service in the world, and the sense of detail and cleanness and hygiene and organization is phenomenal. Okay? So that's a really good employee to have, Mercury in Virgo. Again, the downfall is they can over exceed themselves and trying to work more because they're never satisfied with what they produced. Okay, all right. So there is a limitation there. Okay, there is also people who are herbalists. You know, the herbs, natural healing, people that can definitely write books and teach and talk about natural healing, all that good stuff. But doctors, all doctors, see, it's all there. Okay, all right. Mercury in Libra, the mental process, again, is concerned with the world of Libra. You all know what Libra is by now. It's all about laws. It's all about the physical laws, again, religion, okay, traditional science, or astro-psychology, or the divine, okay? So Mercury in Libra is very sensitive. Coarse behavior could make that thinking going unbalanced easily. They also might have a problem like Mercury in Gemini to make up their mind, because Gemini was this, and the other one was that, and Libra vacillate. So that is what brings also procrastination. Okay, but in many ways, the mental process is geared into the law. So they want to become a lawmaker, astro-psychologists. They want to become anything to do that involve the police, the laws. Okay, they become teachers, they become ministers. Anything to do with the mental process is into the sign of Libra. So they are educating themselves in the physical and spiritual laws, and they have an aptitude to learn and teach about it. Okay, so the mental process is also geared towards the partner. Their mind is always making sure that they're doing the right thing with the partner and they keep balance and harmony. They also have a problem to be by themselves, because the mind is geared with the partner, business or emotional. So they find it a bit difficult to be alone. Okay, Mercury in Scorpio, good luck to you. Now, if you like sarcasm, okay, you're gonna get it. If you like the truth, good for you. If you don't, you're in trouble, because you're going to be put apart with Mercury in Scorpio, because the mind is set to delegate anything that is mysterious, sexual, sensual, under the ground. I mean, you're talking about the planet of communication into the deadliest, most powerful sign you can get. So you better be, again, well equipped. If you ask something to someone who has Mercury in Scorpio, be ready. He ain't going to tell you what you want to hear. He's going to tell you exactly what it is. And that can be
explain. Gina, are you here? You said earlier, you said that you could clip the stinger and you're done. Like, yeah. What did you?
I was just joking around, meaning well, let's just get rid of that stinger since it seems to be the problem. And then we'll fix that Scorpio.
But that's the idea. That's the idea. But nobody can do it but the soul. The soul is doing it through stinging himself with negativity, or losing friends, or losing love, being forced to experience death and drama constantly. It's like, again, Elizabeth Taylor, she's blaming everybody for being a wrong husband when she was the one to making trouble. The excuses were endless: money, sex, sarcasm, insecurity. She could not cut the scorpion tail, and then she was poisoning herself and everybody, and constantly dying and rebirthing on the domestic area, because she has the moon there. I can't remember all the planet that she has there. Okay, all right. So basically, with Mercury in Scorpio, and now you have definitely a good attorney, a good investigator, an explorer of metaphysics and the divine, somebody which has test for death, which has a mortuary, somebody that desiccate body and try to understand what happened. People that deal with plane crash, surrounding themselves and talking and writing and making notes and everything that produce death and how to avoid it. Got it? It's also the mind of terrorists, okay, who wants to kill everybody for their religion or God knows what. Okay, do you think the thinking principle into the sign of death? or life. It's up to you. Because on the positive side, again, it represents somebody that can definitely perceive the reasons to why something happened or to why this person has a disease on a very, very realistic way, okay? And rebirth that person intellectually or physically. All right, Mercury in Sagittarius. Now these people are walking Bible. The mind is a book. They are traditionally set to only deal with the codification of thought. Okay, so they're going to read night and day. They will sudden enough and automatically see the books or traditional education as is, as reality. They will not, because it's the opposite. Remember, that is I think and I challenge your mental process. This is how we think. That's what the book says. Okay, so the Mercury in this sign is a bit weak because its opportunity to challenge is now stuck in the box. So you might as well go and just become a professional student. The mind is concerned with traveling. The mind is concerned with the laws. Again, traditional laws. Jupiter rules the laws. Okay. Mercury in Sagittarius means the mind is also concerned with pets, traveling, the travel agency, people who goes around the world. The mind is set to learn, various languages, particularly Latino languages. Okay, Mercury, communication, Sagittarius, anything to do with Latino. Okay, Spain, Portugal, Mexico, and so forth. Mercury in Sagittarius means also, you see the arrow. Okay, always bringing you in right into the book. So they are Bible heads. They talk with Bible quotes, and they are priests. They're meant to delegate and endorse and support. They promote the codification of thought. Weak position for Mercury. Mercury in Capricorn, common sense again. The mind is concerned in gathering power. The mind is concerned with politics, structure, engineering, anything that is rational and practical. Mercury in Capricorn is cold in a way that the mental process that is not interfering with the sign of Cancer. Okay, that's not the moon, it's the mental process. The critical thinking is in a very cold, calculated sign. Okay, Hitler had the tail of the dragon in Capricorn. Okay, so it's all about Arbeit. It was all about working hard to set you free. And in structure, it has no feeling. Okay, Capricorn tail are very, very cold. Okay, so Mercury in Capricorn, again, engineering, structure, politics. And again, since Capricorn rules high mathematics, I remember when I was in La Jolla in California, I had this little girl. She was doing that TV show, The Growing Pain or The Growing Year.
The Wonder Years.
The Wonder Years. When that little girl,
Yes.
she was a Capricorn. I did a reading for her, and I explained to her that the drive she had to become somebody. And I said, this sign rules mathematics. And now she's a teacher of kids. She teaches them mathematics. Dead on. All right, Mercury in Aquarius, that is dignified. That's the best position because now Mercury has his power in Gemini, it has his power in Libra, and he refined to his best, to his top position in Aquarius. It's dignified, the best position you can have, because there is no limitation, there is no codification, there is nothing that can stop the thinking process to experience and investigate anything above the stars, put it this way. So the mental process is futuristic. The mental process is different. Mental process is genius-like. Mental process cannot necessarily be really understood by any other sign that are below the element of air. Again, through education, you can bring yourself to a Mercury in Aquarius. You can understand that. But Mercury and Aquarius have aptitude in mastering technology, computers, astrology. They have no problem to believe in anything that is extraterrestrials because they rule the future. That's why the mental process is not into yesterday, but more into the future. That's Gary Busey. He's calling me every day like 10 times. Gary, I'm busy. Call me back later. All right. Let's see. Okay. There is also a need or a drive to learn anything related to Aquarius, which is Japanese or Asiatic type of languages. Okay. The mind is meant to
me.
understand supreme objectivity. That's why Einstein understood the law of relativity. Okay, you're talking about supreme objectivity here. Okay, it's like me. I don't remember people's face, people's name, my telephone or direction. Okay, I get lost. I'm lost as soon as I put myself outside. Okay, but when it comes to the universe, I have no problem. I can never get lost in the universe because my Mercury in Aquarius is supremely objective. So I can understand this. That's my gift or my curse. So if you have Mercury in Virgo, your gift will be on the opposite side. Okay, it'll be, or in Leo, it would be more about now, about down here than up there. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so technology, computers, astrology, new age, UFO, name it, anything that welcomes the future, this Mercury is best position also for inventors, people who invent things. They are into the future, making our life much better. They are usually stimulated by the Draconis. Okay, all right, move on to Mercury in Pisces. That's Tirania. An extremely emotional, intuitive, and sensitive mental process. She can be dancing and being happy. And then sometimes that's why people say, oh, she's bipolar. And next thing you know, she's totally the opposite. Okay, Mercury in Pisces. She can start to feel bad about herself, she's insecure about herself, she imagination or fears, name it. And then up she flips around and she starts to be more onto the Aquarius side instead of the negative side. So on the positive side, it shows a terrific intuition, an incredible imagination that must be controlled and structured. Okay. The idea here is to make sure not to let the negative fish take over on the mental process, because it could bring madness. It could bring problems in connecting with reality. And of course, Mercury in Pisces is a gift if you want to go to sleep, because your mental process is into Neptune, who rules the subconscious and the sleepy state. And that makes them dangerous to when they drive, because they can be just snap out and then kill themselves on the road. They fall asleep. They fall asleep when they drive. A lot of people died who have Mercury in Pisces on the highway. Okay, they do not know about it, and they get on the road, and then all of a sudden they feel tired, and then the Neptune is so strong it takes over, and bang, they die. Mercury in Pisces. Mercury in Pisces, the mind is concerned with anything to do with either religion or the spirit. We understand that. Mercury in Pisces is also geared towards the art. And that's why sometimes I try to stimulate Tirania to go painting, because she's a fantastic drawer. She can draw, my God. But writing, when she writes by hand, I mean, she writes like a little pig. Me, I am very fussy in my writing. I write artistically, but Tirania, she's all over the places. You know, that's Mercury in Pisces. A mental process and intellectual potential is so outwardly that she doesn't have any regulation. Even when she writes, she never writes straight. She writes up or she writes down, or that's Mercury in Pisces. On the good and the bad side, you know, you have to understand Mercury can be good, it can be bad, depending if you go up or down, the positive or negative aspect of Neptune, the Lord of the Sea, and imagination. So that in many ways give her psychic ability, connection with the subconscious on the conscious level. That's why sometimes I should listen to her when she warned me about something or somebody. She happened to be right most of the time. Mercury in Pisces makes her also very vulnerable to any form of alcohol or drugs, okay? That could blur a thinking process and a critical thinking. You give Tirania half a beer and she starts to sing and dance. She's drunk as a skank. Just one glass of wine, she's gone, because that's Mercury in Pisces. So it's very sensitive, but she's not a drinker. Yeah, that's the good news.
Only on special occasions.
Special occasions. She likes to one glass, maybe two glasses, and after that, I have problem to control her. She wants to dance on the table.
Or on the boat or in the hot tub.
There you go. Especially, she likes to have a little bit of drink when we're on the hot tub or when we're in a boat. You know, I want her to have a little buzz, because she's always straight and constipated, working. She's always thinking about work. You see, the opposite. Yeah. Her mind is constantly geared into her work. That girl is always for hours and hours, and I don't know how the hell she does it, but that's her Mercury in Pisces. So it allows me to compromise with her and understand her. If you don't have wisdom on the UCI of your partner or your child, you're going to have a problem delegating with these people. So I personally think that it's very important for you to realize what the type of information you're getting from me. It's something that's going to stay with you. Okay. And the more you're going to dig into the cosmic code, the more you're going to realize the extreme critical potential of such a science that has to be brought back in our college university. I've tried all my life, I never succeed. Maybe one of you, maybe Gina. Gina has the same dragon as I have, Aries. Maybe Gina will do it. Maybe Doug will do it. Or Carly, who knows? I don't know. But that wisdom has to be nurtured and it has to be propagated. Okay. And if you have the right stars, God willing, you'll be the next Dr. Cherry, or maybe my wife. I have no idea.
I think I will. So I feel it's something with the AC.
I tried to ask a question a while back.
Go ahead.
Before you leave, I want to try to ask it. When you were talking about the moon, the moon in Gemini, I was wondering if that's why with the duality there, like you'll speak one sentence as you, and then like the next sentence will be like when you're channeling, and then you'll flip back to like you talking again. Is that like a good example of how that works?
Yeah, exactly. When you have Mercury in Gemini or the moon in Gemini, you're going to start a topic, and then the other side wants to talk about something else. So that's why I have to focus and concentrate on staying in a routine or staying focused in my teaching. I'm doing much, much better than when I first class. My gosh, my first class, I was all over the place and I had problem to focus and concentrate. But as I grow up a little bit every single day, I get to know a little bit more about teaching properly. All right. Now, any other question before I let you go, guys? I guess no. Okay. Tomorrow, we're going to keep going with the rest of the planet. It's going to get more interesting as we dig into the dragon, the hidden dragon. And then after that, we're going to start to do charts. And that's where it's going to get really interesting. And that's where you're going to get finalize your the reflex that I'm looking for in each one of you. Okay. All right. So
now tonight so we covered Pisces, and we did the moon in each sign, and we did Mercury in each sign. So tomorrow
we did Mars too.
No, we didn't do Mars. No, we have not started Mars yet.
Oh, I thought I did. Okay.
No.
Thank you for grinding me. We'll do that. We'll do that tomorrow.
So we start with Mars tomorrow, guys, and we will be here at 6 o'clock.
Sounds good.
6
p.m.
tomorrow.
And as always, I will send the link. Like I mentioned, I'm still working on getting those files to the Cosmic Code, and I am finishing up with the forecast for February.
Yep,
just posted the daily guidance today, or last night. So
somebody's talking.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys. So
thanks.
Have a good night. Have a good night. Sleep on that. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.